Okay, now we are in the second unit of history, the world between two world wars. Okay, so last class we learned about the decolonization of India. Okay, today we'll move to the decolonization movement in Africa. Okay, so the Africa's coastline areas, it's occupied by the Europeans in the earlier 16th century. But interior part of the Africa, it did not come out to the world because nobody knows about what is available in the interior part of the Africa till 19th century. In the end of the 19th century only, the outside world, they came to know about the African world, especially in the year of 1875. So, in the Berlin Conference, 84 to 85. So, that time, the Europeans, they need to separate the Africa, which means based on the spheres of influence. They can occupy, the Europeans can occupy the African areas. Likewise, they decided in the year of 1885. Okay, so then after it became some problems. It started in the African areas. Okay, so in that it's begun with the Boer Wars. Who called as Boers? The Boers are the settlers, the Dutch settlers in Africa. Okay, so the Dutch settlers in Africa, they called as a Boers. Okay, so especially the four important states in Africa, the two at the hands of British, the two in the hands of Boers. Okay, so initially after 1885 you can see the British domination in two places. One is, you can see, British and Boers. The two places, one is Natal and another one is Cape Colony. Okay, Natal and Cape Colony, and Boers, you can see, Transvaal and Free Orange State. Okay, so these are all the four important states in Africa. Initially, you see the British occupied this Natal and Cape Colony. It's controlled these two places, and the Boers, they controlled Transvaal and Free Orange State. Later, the gold wealth is more in the Transvaal. Okay, so these the particular news come out, and the British, they need to capture the Transvaal area. Okay, so the British occupation, it started to the Transvaal area. The Transvaal is available in Johannesburg. Okay, so the British, they started to settle their settlements in the Johannesburg. Okay, most of the British people, they migrated to the Transvaal area. So it became very big headache to the Boers, because the Boers considered the British or foreigners as Uitlanders. So what is a Uitlanders? No, foreigners. So foreigners called as a Uitlanders. They considered the British as a Uitlanders to their native place. So they need to given some problems to the British Uitlanders. So what's the problem now? Because this is their area now. So their settlements, British settlements, they are not, it fixed the higher amount of taxes or something. So for political wise, you can see there is no rights given to the Uitlanders, to the British. So this situation is continued for a longer days. Okay, it continued 1885 to even 1899. Till that it's continued. Okay, so at the end of 1899, the particular year you see, the Boers got afraid of the British. Maybe the British have taken these two places from the Boers. Okay, so with the angry of the British and the afraid of the British, they are preparing the weapons. Because anytime British can attack the Boers, like that they thought, and they started to preparing the weapons. So finally, the Boers, it's announced the war against the British in the year of 1899, and they started to fight against the British. The war continued till 1902. So this is the Boer Wars. Boers War 1899 to 1902. So almost 3 years it continued. In the initial time, the Boers defeated the British in the transfer place, but it's not continued. Okay, later the new type of weapons and the new army of British, they enter into the Boers place and they are defeating the Boers one by one. So finally, in the year of 1902, so that time you see, the most of the Boers were defeated. Nearly 26,000 Boers were killed. Okay, so the British, they gave more troubles to the Boer women's children. The separate camp they started, and they are not providing the enough food to the Boers. Likewise, it given more trouble to the Boers, the British. But Boer did not surrender till 1902. Okay, the war continued because they followed some war technique called as guerrilla warfare. Even most of the interior part of the many places, they followed their own techniques or tactics of war. It called as guerrilla warfare. So they followed the guerrilla warfare. So the Boers are not completely defeated by the British. Can you understand? So in end of 1902, the Boer Wars came to an end, and they captured all these 4 places. Already the 2 places with the British, and the Transvaal and Free Orange State also now in the hands of British. Okay, and 1907, the 4 states is there no. The 4 states also, they joined together. Okay, so and 1909, in the Parliament, they decided to start the union of the 4 states. And finally, 1910, the 4 states were united, that formed the African Union. So African Union came to existence in the year of 1910. Okay. After 1910, you see the nationalist politics in South Africa had started. Mainly in South Africa, 2 different type of parties arose. One is Unionist Party. And another one, South Africa Party. Okay, so Unionist Party, it's the British people in South Africa, they called as the Unionist Party, and South African Party, it's the people who are in the side of Boers. The Boers Party called as the South African Party. The Boers that are called as the Afrikaners. Okay, so they called as the Afrikaners. So South African Party led by 2 important leaders. Okay, so initially the South African Party, it's led by Botha. So South African Party initially led by Botha. So this is the situation at the time, but at the same time, the one more section of the South African Party, it called as a militant section. The militant section, it's headed by Herzog. So Herzog is the militant section leader of the South African Party. Listen students, listen, there is a two type of parties. One is Unionist Party. Who will be there in Unionist Party? Now British people. And South Africa Party will be there in South Africa Party. That is a Boers, native people of, not a native people, they are settlers. They are of Dutch people, but they are the Afrikaners. Okay, so the South African Party leader called as Botha, and military section, it's headed by the Herzog. Okay, so now the situation. That time Botha is in charge of Botha, the administration is going on with the support of the Unionist Party, which means with the support or with the acceptance of British, the Botha led the government. But this was not liked by the Herzog because he need to, rule only the Afrikaners in South Africa, and African alone must be there in Africa. So that he separately started one more party called as a Nationalist Party. Okay? Okay. In the year of 1920, the election conducted. Okay. So in that election, we have a parties in the two sides. Now the three parties participate the election. In that Nationalist Party with the Herzog leadership of Herzog is there now. The Nationalist Party secured 44 seats. Okay, and then you can see the one more party. It's led by Botha, that is South Africa Party, and one more party, that is Unionist Party. Okay, Unionist Party. Now you see South African Party, that time it led by Smith, Sir John Smith. The Botha's administration came to an end, and Smith is taking the in charge of South African Party. So now, what is the position of South African Party? Now that time 41 seats they secured. So now 44 seats secured by the Nationalist Party led by Herzog. South African Party secured 41 seat it headed by the Smith. Now they are the in the higher level. But in this juncture, what happened now? South African Party and the Unionist Party, which means the British Party is there now. The both also they joined together, and now the seats is more than the Nationalist Party. So now the South African Party and Unionist Party, they formed the government here with the head of Sir John Smith. Okay, so this is about the the African politics, South African politics during the time of the world between the two world wars. Next, you see the racist policy against the blacks. So after the Boer Wars and after forming of the government, they decided to segregate the blacks from the white. Okay, the act was introduced in the year of 1923. The act, it says, they separated the blacks and they restricted for some places and some towns. Okay, initially the act was introduced in 1914 itself. The act replacement in 1923, and again the act was introduced with some modification in the year of 1924. So all the acts was given some restriction to the black people. So the black people freely they can't go in all the places and do they did not gain equal rights like white people, and they were totally segregated from the normal life. Okay, likewise it's, the category was changed during the time of 1920s, and you see they should not conduct any strike, and they should not participate in any strike or bandh. Likewise, they totally segregated from the normals. Okay, and the dominion status for South Africa. So now the party the Unionist Party and the South African Party. Now, South African parties administrated the South Africa. So, which means the segregation of this, it's not a proper one and it's not a healthy one for the good administration. So, Sir John Smuts decided for the coalition with the some government only possible to function the government in a smooth way. Likewise, they decided. So, Smuts and Herzog, they decided to, what is it, coordinate and to form the government. Okay, likewise, they decided, and Dominion status of South Africa, it's raised. So, with the administration of Smuts, the administration of South Africa smoothly it started. But during the time of Second World War, the Smuts and Herzog, the different type of opinions they started. What is the different type of opinion? What's the Herzog view and Smuts view? The Smuts view is to help the Britain, because the British only initially it's allied with the Smuts. Can you understand? In the forming of national politics in South Africa at that time, the Unionist Party joined with the South African Party. Then only the Smuts will become an administrator. Okay. So, the Smuts, it's ready to help the British. But at the same time, the Herzog, he was a very big supporter of Hitler. Okay, so with the view and the ideas of Hitler, he was attracted. So, the Herzog want to help the Germany. So, what happened during the time of Second World War? The Germany and British both also were enemies. Okay, the British resistance attacked by Germany, Germany's resistance attacked by the British. But now, the South African Party or South Africa to help which country, British or Germany, likewise, there is a different type of opinion started. So finally, the Herzog withdraw and resigned from the South African Union. So initially the two party Herzog and Smuts, the two parties they joined together, that is a Unionist Party. Okay, so now from the Unionist Party, Herzog it's relieved himself. Okay, he resigned and relieved himself. So now the South African Party, the Unionist Party, it freely administrated under the leadership of John Smuts until 1948. Till 1948, without any problem, so John Smuts administrated the South African Party. Even aftermath of the war also, till 1948, he continued the administration in South Africa. Okay, students, so this is about the anti-colonial movement in Africa. Okay, tomorrow we'll see a new topic.